Simple Tales presents The Watermelon Prince from Vietnamese Folklore. Long ago, in the ancient kingdom of Vietnamese, there lived a talented young orphan named Minh An. The king, King Hung, took pity on the boy and raised him as his own son. Minh An grew into a wise and capable prince. He was respected at court. He worked hard. He spoke truthfully. But success can be dangerous. Some courtiers grew jealous. They twisted Minh An's honest words. They told the king the young prince had become arrogant. They claimed he no longer showed proper gratitude. At first, the king ignored the rumors. But lies repeated often enough can sound like truth. Day after day, the courtiers poisoned his judgment until doubt took root where trust had once lived. The king, in anger, banished Minh An, his wife, and their children to a remote, uninhabited island. On the day of their departure, the palace courtyard was silent. Minh An stood before his father, the king he had loved and served. The courtiers watched with hidden smiles. His wife held their children close, fear in her eyes. The young ones did not understand why they were leaving their home. As their small boat pushed away from the shore, Minh An looked back at the land he had always known. The kingdom slowly disappeared into the distance. Tears filled his wife's eyes. One of the children asked, "When will we go home?" Minh and placed a hand on his child's shoulder. "We will make a new home," he said quietly. When the boat reached the lonely shore, Minh An looked at the empty beach and the wild forest beyond. He could have despaired. Instead, he turned to his family and said, "We have lost everything except our hands and our minds. Let us begin." They built a simple shelter from palm leaves and driftwood. They fished in the sea with lines made from vines. They gathered wild plants and searched for fresh water. They worked from sunrise until the stars appeared. Days became weeks. Hunger came often. Storms destroyed their shelter more than once. The children sometimes cried, asking for the comforts they had lost. Yet Minh An refused to surrender. He told stories to keep their spirits alive. He worked harder when hope grew thin. He reminded them that their ancestors had survived greater hardships. One day, strange black seeds washed ashore after a storm. Birds had carried them across the ocean. Men and planted them near their home. Weeks passed, nothing grew. The soil was poor, the sun scorched the ground. Even Minh An began to wonder whether he had placed his hopes in a handful of useless seeds. Then, one morning, after a night of rain, tiny green shoots finally appeared. Months later, the vines spread across the island like green rivers. Small green fruits appeared. The children watched them grow larger with each passing week. Soon, they became bigger than a man's head. Neither Minh An nor his family had ever seen such fruit before. When Minh An cut open the first fruit, bright red flesh glistened with sweet juice. The family tasted it. It was delicious, sweeter than any fruit they had ever known. Minh An called them watermelons. The family survived. More than survived. They began to thrive. Minh An carved messages into the thick rinds of the watermelons. He set the fruits adrift in the sea, hoping someone would find them. Far away, merchants discovered the floating melons. Curious, they followed the current back to the island. They tasted the sweet fruit. They were amazed. One merchant later told the court, "The prince never complains. He works beside his family from dawn until dusk. He built prosperity from an empty island." News of the miraculous fruit and the exiled prince who had turned misfortune into prosperity eventually reached the king. King Hung realized his mistake. He had banished a good and capable son. He sent a boat to bring the family home. When Minh An returned, the king welcomed him with open arms. For a long moment, father and son stood facing each other. No words were spoken at first. Then the king embraced him. "I was wrong," the king said quietly. "I sent you away in anger. You returned with wisdom." Mine. Anne bowed. "The island taught me something, father. A man who depends only on fortune is poor. A man who can create his own fortune is never truly helpless." His title was restored. But Minh An never forgot the island. He continued to grow watermelons and share their seeds with the people. The story of the watermelon prince reminds us that true wealth is not given by kings. It is created by our own hands and hearts. A person may lose land, titles, and comfort. But wisdom, perseverance, and kindness travel wherever they go. Even when everything is taken away, what remains inside us can still grow into something extraordinary. Thank you for listening to Simple Tales. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more legends, myths, and folk tales from around the world. Until next time, remember, the sweetest fruits often grow from the hardest ground.